Hey everybody, welcome into the Delmarva Sports Insider, the only live and local show dedicated to giving you all local sports here on the shore. I'm Sports Director Brandon Bossert.
What is up? It is yours truly, sports anchor Devin J. Martin. Brandon, it's Friday night, and that means it's time for DSI.
Yep, that is right. We are down to the final weekend for high school sports here on the shore, and we have only 2 local teams left standing.
I mean, isn't that crazy? Football season's over, basketball season's over, soccer season's over, and now
but we're finishing strong with two teams left out there.
And after tomorrow, Brandon, I don't know what I'm going to do. All of our sports, we're all done for months.
For high
no
school
more sports.
Yeah, we've got the Shorebirds. We've got some Summer League basketball for Maryland and Delaware coming up as well in the next few weeks. But you know what? Championship weekend in Delaware, 2 local teams left, with a chance to bring home DIAA championships tomorrow in the Henlopen, beginning with boys lacrosse. Cape Henlopen facing off against their longtime nemesis from up in Wilmington, Salesianum.
And today was Cape's last practice of the season before they have to make the trip to Dover for tomorrow's title game. Now, Brandon, I was in Lewis for the Vikings practice, and I spoke with head coach Jeff Shepard about today's focus, and he told me that the coaches reiterated to the players that all they need to do is play hard, fast, and smart, and help dictate the pace of the game in tomorrow's game, and that will give them the best chance to win. And when they face Sally's, they're just going to have to be on point. No mess-ups across the board.
Yeah, if this was anyone else the Vikings were playing, then we'd say Cape could play their B game and pretty much cruise to victory.
Yep.
We saw that against Cesar Rodney in the semifinals. Well, they have to play almost perfect to win this title, regardless of tomorrow's outcome, though. Coach Shepard says he couldn't be more proud of his guys.
Up until now, I'd say it's been a success. We still have one more job to do, but I will not let whether or not we win tomorrow dictate success or failure. I'm extremely proud of these players. They've worked very hard, and they, like I said before, they did it for each other. And because of that, their season was a success.
All right, let's see if we agree with Coach. So far this season, Cape Henlopen 12-3 on the year. 2 of those 3 losses coming from out-of-state schools. The only other one from Salesianum, 10-6 loss earlier this season up at Aposenio Stadium. The Vikings are the Henlopen Conference champions, destroying Indian River 23-2 in that title game. And now for the 6th year in a row, not including the COVID season, the Vikings are in the state title game against Salesianum. Almost any other school and almost any other sport would certainly agree 100% that this season is a success. It is a success, by the way. You make it to the state championship game, it is very successful. But I think Cape Henlopen, they've got such a high bar. They've fallen victim to the past decade that anything short of a state title appearance really could be considered a disappointment. And making it to the title game is pretty much expected at this point.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Brandon, I mean, they've been so good for so many years that it's just expected for them to make it to the state championship game. I mean, 6 years in a row running. And these 2 teams know each other very well, but the Vikings haven't won a title since 2019. Now, obviously, tomorrow they'll get their shot to hand Sally's a title loss. Now, you mentioned something very earlier on about the way that these 2 teams have played during the regular season. I looked it up. Every single year recently, excuse me, in which both teams made me lose my voice. Every single year in which both teams have played each other in the regular season, the winner of the regular season matchup since 2014 wins the state title.
Interesting stat.
This year, Cape lost to Sally, so that doesn't bode well for
Let's
their
see
title
them
chances
beat
tomorrow.
the streak coming up tomorrow, though.
But they did in 2014, which one of the times they beat Sally's in the state championship. They also lost to them during the regular season. So, I mean, that's not a foolproof streak.
Right.
So they can beat it. So hopefully they will tomorrow.
Well, this should be another classic matchup between Salesianum and Cape Henlopen. So what do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, now going into the season, obviously, if I had said to you, Brandon, you know, these 2 teams are going to be right back here at the end of the year, you would have been like, well, obviously, no duh. So for those who don't know, let me paint a picture. Again, you obviously mentioned, including tomorrow, 6 times in a row these teams have faced in the title game. Now, these schools have also played 8 out of the last 9 seasons in the title game and 9 out of the last 11 seasons.
Yeah, they have been the 2 dominant programs.
Yeah, it's insane. It's just, you know, we talk about, you know, Cape Henlopen's girls lacrosse team. obviously they won
The thing about
13
Cape
in a row.
Henlopen girls lacrosse is they have no other rival like Salesianum in girls lacrosse.
And then obviously there's Delmarva's field hockey team where they've been a dynasty for the past 6 years. But these two teams have been at each other's throats in the title game. And obviously Sally's has had the leg up on Cape, but they beat them in 2014 and 2019, the Vikings have. So there's a good chance that they may be able to add it to another notch on their belt this season, maybe 2023.
Now, those rivalries, that's a very interesting point you bring up, because I don't think there's another rivalry in Delaware like Cape Henlopen and Salesianum boys lacrosse, because we saw Delmar and Cape Henlopen in field hockey. They broke up the divisions about 6 years ago, so they don't play in the playoffs anymore.
I mean, that's
just
crazy.
But Cape Henlopen and Sally still do in boys lacrosse. Now, before this spring, it's almost like you can pencil in the matchup every single year. Both teams disciplined. Cape has more senior leadership this season, but no one in the state has played a tougher schedule than Salesianum. They've lost to the number 9 team in the nation by 2 goals. They beat the number 11 team in the nation. They lost to 16th ranked Radnor and 17th ranked St. Mary's in Maryland. Sally's ranked 22nd in the nation right now.
Yeah, they're serious.
Yeah, Cape fell behind early in that game in the regular season, 5-1. They lost that first quarter. They kept up with them in the final 3 periods. So got to eliminate those turnovers, win the face-offs, especially early on, and set the tone early in this
Especially
game.
the last 2 seasons they've faced Sally's, and they've lost by 2 in both of those state title games. So it's right there. It's not like there's a giant gap between these 2 teams. It's just Sally's has been able to come out on the winning side more often than not against Cape Hen.
One play can be the difference in this game.
Yeah, sure.
All right, the other state championship involving one of our local schools in softball. Tomorrow is the DIAA state championship as Indian River takes on 2-time defending state champion Caravel Academy.
Yeah, and Brandon, for the first time since 1998, Indian River is going to the state championship. Now, they finished this regular season 13-3 overall, and IR is no stranger with Caravel. They beat them in their last regular season game 3-2.
Now, a feat many teams have been able to do, or haven't been able to do, I should say. Caravel suffered 2 losses all season long. Not many teams have been able to beat Caravel this year, and IR was the only team in Delaware that could beat them. The only other loss for Caravel was against Rising Sun in Maryland. Now, IR, this roster has, everyone has helped them get to this point, and they have an advantage over Caravel with how close of a team that they are. We caught up with them earlier today. Here's what they had to say going into this game.
When we first came out here, we sat down the first week of practice, and we made some goals for ourselves. And I just asked them, I said, what do you guys want out of this season? And almost all of them said we want to win a state championship. And we just talked about what that entails, what we would have to do at practice to get to that point. And they have come out here every single day and gave me effort.
We know they have pretty good hitters. We've seen them before, so we've seen their pitchers, so we're excited to see them again. We just got to be smart with those big hitters and just do one play at a time and hopefully get through that.
All right, what a season it's been in Dagsboro. We knew IR was going to be good coming into this year. They won 13 games last year, fell in the first round of the playoffs last season. 9 runs allowed in that playoff game against Smyrna, just 24 allowed all season long, including the postseason this year. They've won back-to-back pitchers duels against 2 of the best in the state, against Madge Layfield and against Yoder from Delmarva Christian. They came back to win the Henlopen Conference Championship just a couple of weeks ago, but it wasn't always easy for them as this IR team started out a bit slow. 2 losses early on, both against Central and Delmarva Christian, but they repaid that favor to both of those teams in the last 2 playoff games. So it hasn't been easy sledding in these playoffs. And of course, they already have defeated Caravel. Final game of the regular season, 3-2, like we mentioned. So this should be a fantastic matchup. Kinsley Hall and Indian River against the 2-time defending state champions, Caravel.
Yeah, and I just wanted to touch on IR's road to the championship game, specifically that semifinal win. I mean, to be able to survive the Kaylin Yoder experience. You already mentioned Madge Layfield as well.
She is incredible.
They both are. It's just no small feat. But Kinsley Hall was clutch in the 7th inning of that game in that semifinals to close them out, to close the Royals out. So now they have a great chance tomorrow. As you mentioned before, we talked about it. They did play Caravel earlier this season, beating them 3-2. So it's possible that they can win tomorrow, and it could be another close game. And if that's any preview of the championship game, we're going to be in for one treat tomorrow.
Yeah, Caravel's offense just so lethal. We saw it last year in the championship against Madge Layfield. We'll see if Indian River can contain that Caravel offense coming up tomorrow, 2 o'clock at the University of Delaware. We'll have highlights for you coming up tomorrow night. That'll do it for the A block. We're calling our first timeout, but when we return, we have our brand new After the Whistle this week with a member of this year's Bayside basketball champions, the Y-High Tribe.
Hi, my name is Braden Hearn. I play for Laurel High School football, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.